The Family Holiday is generally a really brilliant film. I really thoroughly enjoyed most of this. There was one thing about it I didn't like, but it's a spoiler, so I will save that for the end with a spoiler warning. But for the most part, I quite like this. This was released in 2007. It's directed by Craig Clyde. It's written by Clyde and James Hennessy. And we have a cast including Dave Coulier. He is exactly the reason why I wanted to watch this. We also have Christina Pickles. And it's not the most Christmassy film, but there is enough Christmas in it for me to say that I'm happy it's called a Christmas film. And Coulier plays a character called Donald Holiday, or Doc Holiday, and immediately we learn that he is a con man. He's not a very honest person, but he's come into some inheritance, a lot of inheritance, from his uncle, but he has to be with a family as one of the criteria for this inheritance. So he decides to fake a family. Will he be able to get away with it? And how will he fake this family? I won't say too much about that. I don't want to give away too much. But I will say all of those elements, I think, worked really well. The structure of the narrative was great. The pacing was great. The characters we meet are all really well written, really interesting characters. There wasn't anybody I didn't like. Mrs. Pendergast, played by Christina Pickles, is not necessarily the nicest character, but she is a very well-written character, and I thought the performance was great. Everybody's performance was really good, so no problems there. As I said, there's a nice amount of Christmas in this as well, and it's a really nice, heartwarming film. I didn't think I'd like Dave Coulier's character to begin with. I'd say it took me a good 15-20 minutes to start to warm to his character, but once I did, I really liked the character, so I'm quite happy, and I'm very happy to recommend it as well. As I said, it's not the most festive film. It's not sickly sweet. I do love sickly sweet Christmas films, but if you're the kind of person who likes Christmas films to not be overabundant in festivities, then actually I think you'll get on really well with this one. Apart from one thing I'll mention in a moment, I have absolutely no complaints. Great narrative, well executed for the most part. Great performances, great characters, a decent amount of Christmas. And I will now, with a spoiler warning, mention the thing that I didn't like. And it didn't really affect my overall enjoyment. But when it was revealed, I kind of thought, this is too convenient. So this is a big spoiler for what happens right at the end. This is the last thing I have to say about the film. And we learn at the end, after a couple of emotional scenes where the children run away. They are foster children and they ran away because they were going to be separated. They're twins, and I think that that's an absolutely terrible idea. So they run away, and by chance they meet Doc Holiday, and they hire a nanny called Elizabeth, played by Alexa Fischer, and she finds out all of this as well. So she leaves, the children run away, Doc Holiday has lost everything, and Mrs. Pendergast visits him to give him the check because she is convinced that he has a happy family life. And it turns out that actually she was married to his uncle and she knew all of this, and when he refused to accept the check, she realised that he had changed his conman ways and he'd actually, I guess, developed a heart. And she had organised the adoption of the children, and it just all seemed a little bit unrealistic, unbelievable, a little bit far-fetched for my liking. So I didn't really care for that. I loved how it concluded. It concluded with the characters together as a proper family, and I'll be honest, that's what I expected. That's absolutely what I thought would happen. But the journey just before that, with Mrs. Pendergast revealing what she did, I just thought it was a little bit ridiculous and not believable, and I didn't really care for it. But the rest of the film, absolutely delightful. So in general, I think it's safe to say I'm very happy with The Family Holiday.